It's our 15th year in Jaen. Our new stadium is finally open. We've played 2 games in it, and so far, so good. After last year's invincible season, I don't believe we can repeat it this year, but we're sure as heck going to try. And Lord knows we spent enough money to do it. My name's FM20. It's time to get real. New season, new skin. This is from FM Wicked Soul site. This is an updated version of the FM17 Vitrix skin. Now, that was the very first skin I ever used. I'm absolutely in love with it. I am absolutely in love with the fact that he updated it for this particular version of the game, and I'm hoping he can be able to do it for next year's version as well. Frankly, I don't know when that's going to be out. It's literally right before Labor Day here, so soon maybe. But I love the playing field. It's minor quibbles. Let me switch this here real quick. This here is a little bit too large, but I like the hashes instead of the circles. That's just a me thing more than anything else. Let me switch to another player here. So again, we got Carlos Roberto here up top as a striker, left and right there. So he's decent on the right, not so good on the left. The colors are very changeable. I like the report here where you can scroll up and down. It's very well done. And there's a ton of ways you can go through and customize this. Like as an example, well, here's the thing. I don't know if this is going to happen, so let's take a look and see here. Okay, this should have been a wipe. This should have come over. So I've set up this like this. Now the question is, if I go back to Ryan Bates, his is set up the same way. If I go back to Carlos Roberto, it stays the same. Some skins don't do that. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a memory issue or what. But we're not here for this. What we are here for is the transfer window. And holy cow, it was a busy, busy off-season. It's bad when you have to scroll to see everybody that you've moved. I'm going to sort by cost here. We earned 206 million euros. We spent 194 million euros. We're going to look at the outs first. John Louis Seca, Carl Hurst, Elohim Cooley, Sariba Sidibe, Ahmed Adel, Ibrahim Amoako, Romer De Decker, Victor Rocoro, Mikel Requena, Jean Sebastian Torrado, all went out on loan. The 2 highlights of this one are Romer De Decker went to Andorra. They're a decent Group 3 team. They also have a striker that everybody, including me, is after. He's got a ton of potential. We'll have to see what happens there. Victor Coro is at Bordeaux, where he is a full-time starter. They're also paying us 87,000 euros a month. A couple of outs probably aren't going to be surprising here. A couple will be. Moreno Ajay went to Fortuna Sittard. Oh, I skipped one. Carlos Fernando, who was a player who just was never going to see any playing time here. He's kind of aged out in terms of he's 18 years old. He can play a little bit of everywhere. He's a good deep line playmaker. Physically, he's just, I don't know. He's just not set for the role. I was okay with Malo being a little substandard physically because his technicals were so good. Fernando's rather are not. His mentals are okay, but they're not spectacular. It says he has 5-star potential, if I'm reading that right. I don't think that's true, though. We had him for a couple of years, if I recall. Yeah, he came in through the youth intake, and he was one of the few we have a promise. He's just never developed. The fact we were able to turn around and sell him for 300,000 or 230,000 euros is a good thing. Moreno Ajay, who was another one of my midfield prospects, he definitely has some potential, but again, I don't think he's going to see it. He's essentially, I think, reached his limit. He's 24 years old. Physically, he's average. Mentally, he's got some good things about him. The 17 bravery is nice. Everything else is fairly good. The 9 determination's a bit on the low side, but I like double digits in most of my the key areas that I like. He's got great teamwork, vision, and work rate. Technically, he's not all that good. It's probably one of the reasons he was never, ever really going to succeed here. But he ended up at Fortuna Sittard, who I want to say, Quaking Camp and Division, Second Division Dutch. So he's definitely got a chance to do well there. Tim Bish, who was another one of my midfielders, just kind of lost in the shovel, also a very good defensive midfielder. Derby made an unsolicited offer for him, and he was very happy to go back to England. Solid physically, solid mentally, technically also solid. You know, one of those solid but unspectacular guys. The anticipation and bravery stand out, as does the teamwork. His acceleration's nice. He probably would have stayed on. He probably would have gotten a decent amount of playing time this year if I hadn't brought in a couple of players. Derby made the unsolicited offer for him. He totally jumped at it and wanted to go back home. So I said, sure. I think being on loan in Birmingham last year kind of made him miss the home country as it was. So we moved him for $4.7 million. I think, let me check here real quick. We brought him on for 3.5. So at the end of the day, if you take into account his salary and everything like that, we probably lost out. But at the same time, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Timo Furstein, Sociedad, made an unsolicited offer for him, €8 million flat out, and he wanted to go. And I was like, okay. He was really solid for us last season. Started 22 games. I had intended him to be the guy that came off the bench, but he made the position his own. Did a really good job for us. Brought him in on a free, turned around, sold him for €8 million. I'm not going to complain about that. I'm going to complain about the fact he jumped at the Sociedad offer. I mean, we just finished an unbeaten season in La Liga, and he wants to go to Sociedad? Laszlo Seferovic, Galatasaray, made an offer for him, hopefully in the belief that the next time we play Galatasaray, we won't score 13 on them. I'm still miffed about this. I was only able to move him for €9 million. And I know there are keepers out there who are nowhere near as good as him, moving for at least 3 or 4 times that much. Ryan Bates, as an example, is valued at €35 million, and they're not that different right now. Seferovic's older, but being older shouldn't knock you down 200% in value. I think I have the math right. It's late. I could be wrong. So, was a solid keeper for us. He started making too many dumb mistakes for me, and just, maybe it was the animations, maybe it was something else, maybe it was me hitting my mic and making sure now, hey, let's check now and make sure it's Angelico. Way to go. Was a full-time starter for us, had some very nice seasons for us, but he did enough just to really start making me doubt him. I have no concerns about the fact that if we didn't have Ryan Bates on the squad, Laszlo Seferovic would be here and he would still be saving us some games. I'm also convinced he'd still be blowing us some games too, and we'd be losing more than a few shutouts because of it. So he averaged about a goal allowed a season for the most part. He got under that 2 years ago, and last year when he was splitting time with Bates, he had 19 goals allowed in 25 appearances. Since he's been at Galatasaray, he's had 2 appearances, 2 shutouts, and 2 players of the match on an 8.45. So they're getting their money's worth. So for a guy we brought him for €425,000, moved him for $9 million. We made a profit on that, I think, at the end of the day, but still. Dennis Thorpe, he of the star player contract, I demoted a regular player and got unhappy because he wasn't getting the playing time he wanted. Moved to Bournemouth. They actually made an unsolicited offer for him, and I said, you know what? I don't want him on my team anymore. He is a headache. We brought him for $1.6 million from Nordsjælland, and Bournemouth turned around and paid $10.5. He started 32 games in Cordoba, came back to us, started 10 games. Last year, started 14 games, had 5 off the bench, also had cup appearances, also had continental appearances, and was still unhappy with the amount of playing time he had. And literally tried kicking up a fit. I don't know what happened. I screwed up somewhere. He was on a star player contract making €7,500 a week, which I don't know that I would do something like that consciously, but it's quite entirely possible I was just clicking through and missed it, and that's why he was upset. Martin Olsen, the winger we brought on and then loaned out for a year because Barry Verdant kind of sort of made the position his own, and a couple other players have stepped up as well, has also moved on. He went to Torino. They made an unsolicited offer for him. We lost a little bit of money on this. It was one of those risks you took. I brought him on to kind of be a backup at both positions, And he did, frankly, a lackluster job for us. And then he went to Stade Rennais and did a lackluster job there, too. Torino was more than happy to pay 15 million euros for him. He has yet to start a game. He's been in 4 non-competitive games and hasn't really done a bunch. So we lost a little bit of money on that, but it's not a huge disappointment. Alexander Petrov, my midfielder last year, who split time with Malo. Leicester came and made an unsolicited offer for him. He jumped all over it. I'm really kind of miffed at this. I was hoping to keep him because him and Malo were going to be switching out. Malo's kind of losing the luster, as it were, but he's still a capable midfielder, and Petrov is a capable midfielder as well. Had a very good season for us. We got him from CSKA Moscow for 10 million euros. Made a bit of money on him. Last season, he had 25 appearances, 3 goals, 2 assists, 3 players of the match. Was a solid replacement for Malo when Malo was injured. Came on, actually was taking the position over. I suspect this would have been the year that Petrov would have been the starter more often than not. Malo would have been the backup, and then I would have looked at moving Malo on. And then a couple other players became available, and that became kind of a moot argument. Olsen. RB Leipzig made an unsolicited offer for him, 35 million euros straight up. He absolutely wanted to go. I said, sure. How can I put this? He is not as good as he appears. He's got potential. He's got a ton of potential, and he's still young enough to realize it. But in 53 appearances for us, he had 10 goals. And that's being a very good winger who's fast, who's pacey, who's well-rounded mentally. He's got a 16 off the ball. Technically, he's pretty good. 12 crossing, 13 dribbling, 16 first touch, 17 passing, 14 technique. We got him in on a free from Hostelborough. So making 35 million for him was a good deal. He had 2 years for us where he played the majority of the games. Last year, 5 goals, 10 assists, no players of the match. But it was just one of those things where I got Barry Verdonk on the left as well. They were kind of switching out. Verdonk was injured a little bit last year. And for whatever reason, maybe I'm expecting too much from him. I mean, the 10 assists are nice. The 7.2 is nice. But there were games where he just completely disappeared. And it was one of those cases where he had too many blank spells in between games. He'd have games where he'd be really, really good, and then 3 or 4 games where he was just a dude on the field. And I can't have my wingers be dudes on the field. It's not the 4-2-4 I play. Leipzig wanted him. They were offered 35 million for him straight up. I said, sure, he is more than happy to be there. Miko Stevic, my solid defensive center back, who I brought in to be Benvenuti's replacement. Tottenham made an unsolicited offer for him. He totally wanted to go to England. The money was good. That's why I took it. Other than that, 3-star current ability, 3-star potential ability, 21, maybe 5-star potential ability. He had room to grow. And I'm kind of upset I lost him, but I also know if I tried keeping him, he would have pitched a fit, and he was just influential enough in the locker room. It could have caused me troubles as well. And I really don't want our 15th year high into the first year of our new stadium to be the source of a locker room dispute. We're at the point now where we've got enough money in the bank. I've got enough scouts. I'm confident in my own scouting ability that, yeah, we lost Miko Stevic, but we have enough money to buy a replacement or scout out a possible replacement. And I know I have players on the bench. Hrvanik, as an example, can take over his spot. So, Furman Malo, this was surprising. TSG 1899 Hoffenheim made a 54 million euro offer for him, and he was all over it. And by this time, I had already signed Petrov's replacement, and I was looking at who else was available and who I had in my squad. And Malo's a good player. He's got 5-star potential. He's 3.5-star current ability right now. I think the only other areas he's going to improve are probably some of his mentals and some of his technicals, because his physicals have not improved all that much. They may go up by 1 or 2. So he's not the fastest. He's not the paciest. He can stay on the field all day. He is a positional player, and I have no idea when he picked up this argues with officials. But as a deep line playmaker, he did what I wanted my deep line playmakers to do. He sat in the middle of the field. He facilitated the ball forward. He was a very good passer. And I swear almost every single goal he had came from outside the box. 16 anticipation, 18 teamwork, 18 vision, 19 work rate, 17 first touch, 16 passing, 16 marking. So he was fairly good occupying the other midfielders as well. The other opposing midfielders as well, I should say. 15 technique, the 10 crossings, okay, a little bit on the low side. The 12 dribbling is not bad either. For 54 million euros, I couldn't pass this up, especially when you see who I got on board as well. And for someone who came on board as part of the Viking Dan Throw Him in the Van youth movement, we made a ton of money on this kid. He had a ton of potential early on and just had some very solid seasons for us. 21 appearances, his first year as a mostly starter, 4 goals, 4 assists, 3 players of the match at 7.39. Next year, just the 4 assists, but at 7.07. Year after that, 2 goals, 5 assists, 2 players of the match at 7.34. Last year, splitting time with Petrov, 1 goal, 3 assists, 2 players of the match at 7.51. Hoffenheim has finally clawed their way back into the Bundesliga, and they spent money like water. So, good luck to them. Hopefully, buying players like Malo will keep them there. As you can see, they've been in the Bundesliga. Well, can I click on league history? They finished 7th last year. And I can't go back. Yeah, 14th the year before that. Wait a minute. Why am I clicking there when I can just go click history? So they've been in the Bundesliga for a while. Thought they got relegated a couple years ago. That may have been a real life. I could be thinking of another team entirely. But anywho, as you can see, they've kind of gone up and down, up and down, up and down. Maybe a player like Malo can help solidify their midfield and lead them to victory. So as I'm clicking all the way back here, I do believe he was our last big out. We did have some released players. They may have been youngsters who are just not showing up. Maybe part of the free transfers. Yeah, Miguel Quena, Juan Sebastian Torrado, both left on freeze. Nero Alcente, Connor McClenahan, Sanad Spica, and Giovanni Leibert came on freeze. They are all youth players. I doubt they're La Liga potential players. I just needed bodies for my under 19. Connor McClenahan has probably the most potential. He could be a very good third keeper. Sanad Spica also has a decent amount of potential as well, but he's an attacking midfielder on the left. I'm kind of full there. He's kind of almost a depth buy. If he doesn't turn out, I know I can turn around and move him for money. And then Giovanni Leibert, 18-year-old Belgian striker, just under 19 depth more than anything else. On the ends, Armin Lenz is back to us on loan from Borussia Dortmund. He was available. I liked what he did for us the last time around. I picked him up this time. We don't have an option to buy him, but I know he's getting close to the end of his contract. And frankly, if I can make a move to buy him, depending on how well he does this season, I will. Solid physically, solid mentally. Technically, he's a little weak in some areas, the heading especially, but his marking and tackling are nice. And I'm more than happy to bring him in and be part of the back four rotation. And we're just paying his salary if he sits or if he's on the field. We're not paying an additional monthly or anything like that. Nero Albacete comes to us from San Felix on loan. I think we highlighted him earlier. Yeah, he's one of the youth players. Connor McClenahan, Snart Spica, Giovanni Leibert we all looked at. João Machado comes to us from FC Vizela, defensive left back, 18 years old, 2-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. He's a future buy. He was listed by request, which is how my scouts found him. Physically, he's very, very good. Mentally, he's very, very good. The composure and the 9 off the ball are a little bit on the low side, but again, 18 years old, those will only get better. 10 marking, 14 tacklings, decent. But I'm looking more at his crossing and dribbling. As a defensive left back, he's that solid right now. You know, they could be single digits, which would have kind of thrown me off. But he will definitely get some starts off the bench. And in probably some of the games against the lower opponents will get some starts there, but he will see a decent amount of playing time here. I think he's got a ton of potential, and if anybody can screw that up, it's me. Who's he wanted by? Oh, he's wanted by a ton of teams on loan. That's right. He's had like 5 teams come after him for saying, hey, I want to go out on loan. He's like, they want him on loan. He's like, I want to go. So Filip Segovia comes to us from Sparta Rotterdam for $17.25 million. He was Petrov's replacement. 2.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. I think I'm reading that right. Could be 5-star potential. I can't remember how to read that, to be honest with you. I know it's 2.5-star now. Maybe it's 3.5-star, but physically very, very good. Mentally, very, very good where it counts. I love the 16 anticipation, the 16 decision making, the 16 vision. The work rate's nice, the positioning's nice, the off the ball is nice, his first touch is fabulous, his passing is fabulous. His technique is also really, really good. 19 years old, 15 under 21 appearances for the Dutch national team. He's got a big future in front of him. He was transfer listed by request. They only wanted $17.25 million for him, and I jumped all over it. And he has already had a decent amount of starting time for Sparta Rotterdam and done a solid job. Damien Yan from Marseille was transfer listed by request. He is my 18-year-old defensive left back who I'm retraining to be my defensive right back because he is equally footed, physically solid. The 10 jumping reach is a little bit on the low side, but I can live with that because he's 18 years old and I know he's going to get better. Mentally, absolutely solid where it counts. 12 anticipation, 12 composure, 13 concentration, 17 decision makings, and I have to cough, be right back. 14 determination, 14 positioning, 12 teamwork. I know I'm training him to be fullback on support. Yeah, defensive right back, fullback on support. Technically, we'll stay on the screen here for a little bit. Technically, he'll only get better. 10 crossing, 8 dribbling, 12 marking, 16 tackling already. The 14 passing is good. The 13 technique is good. So he will be getting a lot of the starts on the right side of the field. Jorrit Veerman comes to us from Willem II for 51 million euros, straight up. He is an advanced midfielder who is going to get a decent amount of playing time as a midfielder. He was transfer listed by request. He can also play a decent striker. I love his mentals. I love his technicals, especially where they count. The first touch of 20, 17 passing, 17 technique. He is literally a faster, more technically, more mentally proficient version of Furman Malo, and he's 19 years old. 3-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. That's how you read that. So 4 going to 5 stars. Just solid across the board. He can only go better from here. I mean, his lowest rating for crying out loud is a 6 in long throws. You can't argue with that. You can't. He's definitely worth the money. And luckily for him, because I still have Antonio Augusto, we also got Kai Oosterley from Ajax. We absolutely rated Holland in the Dutch league this year. 24 years old, 4-star current ability, 5-star potential ability, solid deep line playmaker. He was the replacement for Malo, and then Petrov left, and that's when I got the other guy in as well. He argues with officials. Like, don't know why I missed that the first time around. Solid career at Ajax. Solid physically, solid mentally. Technically, very good where it counts. 15 first touch, 16 passing, 16 technique. Decent long shots, decent heading. The jumping reach is a bit on the low side, but I'm okay with that. He's got 29 appearances for the Dutch national squad. Wait a minute, Dutch, Holland. Am I screwing that up? Dutch and Holland are the same thing, aren't they? You know, as a geographer, I really ought to know that. But the one other thing I like about him is that he is also an accomplished defensive center back as well. They got him playing libero or ball-playing defender. I will be playing him as a ball-playing defender because I don't have the personnel for the Swiss Bolt. Although part of me says playing that would be really, really fun. I might actually train that because I've got most of the personnel for it. I don't have the wing backs, but I have the defensive left back and defensive right back, and I can push up as wing backs. And now I'm trying to convince myself that, yeah, we shouldn't do that because the 4-2-4 has been working really well for us. But anywho, he is absolutely worth the money. I think we've gotten better as a team, even though we've lost some good players. Money-wise, we came out a little bit ahead, but in addition to that, we've still got 178 million euros in the transfer budget, and we've still got 66,000 euros to work with in the payroll. So I know there is a decent amount of wiggle room there. If I take this down here just to 153, that gives me 600,000 euros to work with in the transfer budget. So the January transfer window, if we need it, we could also make a ton of moves. It just depends on who's out there and whether or not we really need to make the moves. I don't think we do. The season's gotten off to a really good start. We went to England for the training camp, played a couple friendlies there, absolutely spanked our affiliates, and then got off to a very good start by beating Osasuna 2-0, thanks to a goal by Jort Veerman and a goal by Carlos Roberto. And then against Deportivo, we beat them 4-1, thanks to a hat trick's worth of goals by Carlos Roberto, and then an Israel goal in the 44th minute. So I believe this is actually the home stadium for Jaen. I could be wrong, though. So what we're going to do today is just the transfer window update, and then we have, today's the 24th, the Champions League group stage draw coming tomorrow, and I swear this time I am going to try and remember to click the draw. So let's get to that. There's still a couple more days left in the transfer window. I don't see us making any moves unless somebody just absolutely shows up expecting to, we received 15.24 million for qualifying for the group stage league. Transfer rumors, Stefan Pereira could be going to Milan for 53 million, but I've already got my advanced midfielders on the left, and he's an inverted guy because he's right-footed only. So this is actually a pretty cool screen. This is part of your screen flow. You can set that up. So sometimes you can, I kind of breeze through it really quick now. Earlier on, I just kind of keep an eye out for the rumors that were going on, and then some of the teams that we've also pulled players from, like Sparta Rotterdam. They're looking at this 19-year-old midfielder, Rens Hermans. So if we take a look and we say, hey, that's not bad. He's solid. He's 19 years old. He's a Mazzala and a deep line playmaker. Okay, maybe we send a scout after him and just kind of take a look at him. So. And we'll look at transfer offer. They want Fluxia on loan. He isn't interested, so we are going to reject that. There's been a lot of that. I think. Go to the board here real quick. We've got 3 affiliates. The high and B squad doesn't count. They're a regional division squad, and I can't do anything about that. I've talked about that before in past games. Hospitalet is 3rd division. And Terrassa is 3rd division. Or no, that's their 4th division. Terrassa. Okay, let me check this out here real quick. Add as a playable league, 3rd division, group 5. No, they're lower. So I wonder, do we increase our profile in another country? Recruit foreign youngsters? Okay. Well, this is like the 5th or 6th time I've asked for yet another affiliate, and they're not going for it. Hospitalet is at least professional. Maybe after this season, I can dump Terrassa, and get a new one. 13 players called up. Anich still has none. Did I totally click through it again? No. Champions League group stage draw today. Carlos Roberto just got injured. 1 to 2 days. Okay, that's cool. We're going to look at this real quick, and then I wanted to show just a couple of things that happened with a couple of the players that moved recently, older players. I'm going to move this over to the right here. View the draw. We are in the first pot. And we are in Group A. Marseille, Man City, Borussia Dortmund, PSG, Benfica, Inter, and Man United. Napoli, Liverpool, Schalke, Juve, Barcelona. Wow, Group E is looking big already. Arsenal in Group F, Bayern in Group G. That's a tough group too. Real Madrid in Group H. It's also a tough group. RB Leipzig. Okay. Milan, PSV Eindhoven, Celtic, Porto, Villarreal, Monaco, and AZ, rounding out the 3rd space in Group H. So the last team in Group A is CSKA Moscow. So we're playing Napoli, RB Leipzig, and CSKA Moscow. Group B is Marseille, Liverpool, Milan, and Legia Warsaw. Group C, Man City, Schalke, Eindhoven, Red Bull Salzburg. Group D, Borussia Dortmund, Juve, Celtic, and Besiktas. Group E, PSG, Barcelona, Porto, and Shakhtar. Wow, that's a tough group. Group F, Benfica, Arsenal, Villarreal, Dinamo Zagreb. Group G is Inter, Bayern Munich, Monaco, and Sporting, and Red Star is going to go to Group H. Where did CSKA Moscow finish last year? They won the Russian Premier League last year. Okay. And where did Napoli finish last year? Second in Serie A. Okay, we got our work cut out for us. Leipzig also finished fairly high last year. They finished second, if I recall. Third. Didn't we play them last year in the Champions League too? Okay, I have a minor complaint about this skin. You can't go back to the previous year's schedule. I thought for certain we could do that, but apparently not on this skin. Okay, so what we are going to do then is go forward today and be back in just a bit. So what we're going to do is come back for Atletico Madrid and Napoli. And then probably... No, you know what we're going to do? We are going to do Napoli, skip Eibar, and come back for Barcelona, because this is the game that's going to set us up for the rest of the season. So far, we're undefeated, going all the way back to last season. We haven't been beaten in 39 games, maybe 41 games. So we'll play Napoli, and we'll play Barcelona. We'll skip CSKA Moscow, come back for RB Leipzig, Alaves, and then definitely get CSKA Moscow on the back end here with Athletic Club. So we've got a tough group, not the toughest group out there maybe, but they're all quality teams. It's the Champions League. They're all tough groups. Who am I trying to convince? So we'll also take a look at the new stadium because we're playing Napoli at home. I'll be honest with you, the pitch is very, very square. Make of that what you will. So, transfer window has yet to close. We've got 5 more days on it. I don't see us making another move unless a player comes in that just absolutely, completely, totally blows us away. And I could be missing something with the... skin here, but I guess... Oh, you know what? We can go here. We can click RB Leipzig, and we can click past meetings. Good grief. Shall we go? RB Leipzig, past meetings. 2032, 2032. Last year, yep, they were in the same Champions League group. Could have gone back and looked that way too, I suppose. It's late. I wish I had a better excuse, but the only excuse I have is it's late. So, solid transfer window, I think. We lost some players I was hoping to keep. We lost some players I was not too worried to lose. And I think the only one that was really kind of surprising is Furman Malo. But, you know, Hoffenheim made a big offer for him, and I said, yeah, sure. And then I turned around and took most of that money and piled it into Kai Oosterley and Jort Veerman. Also, the other thing I just wanted to point out here real quick was, I can't remember if I've pointed this out before or not. Martin Matasevic is at Man United. He literally spent all of a season in Shanghai. Not even an entire season in Shanghai. Man United paid $66 million for him, and he sat on the bench all season. This year, he's got 2 goals and an assist. So he's made 121 million euros in his lifetime. Not bad for a guy we brought on for 350,000 euros and then turned around and sold for 55. So, yeah, it's our 15th year in Jaen. I never thought I'd say that. I'm reasonably sure the series is going to come to a close. We might get one more season out of it after this one, especially if we don't win the Champions League. Winning La Liga was nice, but the goal of the save is to win La Liga and the Champions League and get a little bit more silverware, because even though I have a very good history, we haven't won a ton of silverware. Yeah, we won 3rd Division Group 9. We won Segunda Group B, or Segunda Division B Group 4. We won La Liga 2. we're back-to-back winners of La Liga, and we had an unbeaten season last year. So that's something to hang our heads on. I mean, we've gotten head coach of the year. Well, we were third place last year because the other guy just had an absolutely fabulous season with a team no one was expecting to finish. So, but we keep getting bounced out of the Copa del Rey. We keep getting bounced out of the Champions League. We've got one single head coach of the year award. And, we're gotten a heck of a lot better as a coach. We're fairly determined world-class reputation, 4.5 stars. Played 661 games, won 394, 59% win rate. Our goal differential is plus 567. We've bought 176 million players, sold 132. I've got my Continental Pro. And I want to win the Champions League. I want to win the Champions League before FM21 comes out. But I also know there's going to be a break for me personally before FM21 comes out and FM20 ends. So I'm not saying this is the last season for Time to Get Réal, but it's probably the next to last. So make of that what you will. I'd be interested in your feedback on the transfer window. I'd be interested in how you think we're going to do this season. I'd be interested in how long you think we can maintain this unbeaten record. If you did like what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, questions, criticisms, comments. Leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. My name's FM20.